Happy Humpday. That's right. The week is like right in the middle. We're just heading right over that hill, headed for the weekend. And today we are talking about 1998 classic Blade with Wesley Snipes. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back, and you don't want to miss this.
Previously on the Nerdy Ronin Network.
Hey everybody. Hey, real quick, I just wanted to say thanks to Blackout Coffee Company. Let me tell you something. This company has some of the greatest coffee I've ever had. No joke. You know I talk about coffee on here. There's several companies that I really like. But Blackout Coffee Company has some of the fantastic flavors and fantastic prices. And I don't want to talk out of turn, but in the description down below is a promo code to save you some money if you want to make an order for Blackout Coffee Company. You will not be disappointed. All right, back to our regularly scheduled program. Have a good one.
Happy Wednesday. Hump Day. The week is well on its way. We're almost to the end of it. And I'm so glad you're here. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. We appreciate each and every one of you. In the description down below are links to our website, our merch page, some really great deals on coffee, energy drinks, etc., etc. And you don't want to miss that. All right? You might find you a really good deal, and you should treat yourself. All right. So let me give you a little explanation real quick. As you know, on Monday, we talked about Pacific Rim, Guillermo del Toro, and it has sent me down a rabbit hole. I want to watch more of his movies. I want to look at them in a different light, if you will. And he directed Blade 2 back in the day. Now, I've seen all the Blade movies, to be fair, but it's been forever, all right? And so I bought the trilogy on DVD just so I could watch them. But I couldn't just watch the second one without watching the first one. So today we're talking about the first one. Let's take a look. Blade, 1998, rated R, 2 hours. Now I got to tell you, this is it's not a hard R, but it is an R. There's some in the background. You see some things that are pretty adult themed. I don't remember. Maybe there was some nudity. I think maybe partial nudity. And there's a lot of language. There's a lot of blood, a lot of dying, vampires galore. I mean, it's a pretty spooky movie. Excuse me. I like this movie, okay? But it's directed by Stephen Norrington, written by David S. Goyer, who wrote all three of the trilogy. Starring Wesley Snipes, of course, Stephen Dorff, and Kris Kristofferson. Who doesn't love Kris Kristofferson? He's fantastic. Okay. A half vampire, half mortal man becomes a protector of the mortal race while slaying evil vampires. Are there good ones? Does the Twilight Pack show up all sparkly to be the good guys in this? No, they do not. They're all evil. Okay? This movie has a great storyline. It makes sense. It's understandable. It's not super scary. It's not a horror movie, if you will. It's more action, comic booky. But I'm going to tell you something that's going to make you all look differently at me. I can't stand Wesley Snipes in this movie. Yes, this was the late 90s. Wesley Snipes is great with action movies, but the fight choreography in this movie, I just can't stand it. Everybody else is fine, but like after every move, he stops and basically poses so they can take a picture of him, I guess, his fans. Let's be honest, everybody, okay? After you've seen things like John Wick, you've seen things like, in my case, Indian cinema, where the fight choreography is on point 98% of the time. This fight choreography in this movie is substandard. And it mainly revolves around the way Wesley Snipes stops after every move to pose like a heroic pose. It's unnecessary. Nobody turned this movie on going, you know what I want to see? I want to see Wesley Snipes pose. No, they said, I want to see the hero slaughter a bunch of vampires. You with me? So as much as I like this movie, and it's not a bad movie, I'm not going to give it a bad rating. Wesley Snipes does not do a good job, and it's not his fault necessarily. I think it's a mixture of him and the fight choreographer. But I've heard that in all three of these movies, Wesley Snipes was quite the diva. So maybe he's the reason. I don't know. Stephen Dorff, of course, does a great job as the bad guy. Stephen Dorff does a great job in most things from back in the day. I can't talk about anything he's done recently. I don't know. Kristofferson as the helper, Blade's helper. You know, they're a team. He makes the weapons. Blade uses the weapons, etc. That's done really well. But I did not watch this for this movie. I watched this as a means to an end to get to the second one. As I said, I've seen all three of them, but I haven't watched them in years. So it's fun. I'm kind of watching it for the first time, and I really enjoyed the story. The acting was okay. Yeah, it wasn't fantastic, but it was good. And most of the fights were good. It's just there's something when you've seen fight choreography the way we have it now in some action movies, it just makes it look substandard. It's like in a fight, Wesley Snipes looks like it's all about him. And the stunt people that get beat up by him in this did a great job of selling that point. But it's obvious. And that makes it a little lacking to me. I mean, do we need to look back at the wonderful career that was Steven Seagal's once his ego took over and it was all about him and his career tanked? Wesley Snipes' career pretty much did the same thing. I think there's a lot to say about an actor, an action star, if you will, that loves making movies or loves being in movies, loves being the star, but doesn't let their ego take over. Let's look at Keanu Reeves, who has done every type of movie there is. And if you watch John Wick, just as a for instance, I'm just using it as an example, you don't feel like it's all about, he's put the work in so that his fighting style and the stunt guys' fighting style he's fighting, they look like they're on an even playing field here. You don't see him stop in the middle of a fight after punching somebody and posing. Now, maybe it could be the editor's issues with this, with Blade. But we just have a higher quality of fight choreography now than there was back then. So maybe it was Marvel. I don't know. The movie is enjoyable. If you like vampires, it's enjoyable. If you like Marvel, it's enjoyable. If you like action, it's enjoyable. It was difficult to watch Wesley Snipes posing so much when he talked so little. That's it. Now I get to watch the second one. which I know will be directed well. Okay, we're gonna get out of here. This movie's fine. Yeah, it's an enjoyable movie. I would suggest getting the trilogy just so you have it. I can't wait to watch the other two. Just to say I did. We'll talk about it here, of course. Nerdy wife found me some great kung fu movies at Goodwill yesterday, so we've got some good stuff coming up on Kung Fu Fridays. So don't miss out on that. All right, we're out of here. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week, and we will be back on Friday. From Michael, the microphone, Bob, squeaky chair in the back, and this big fat nerd. We will see you later.